I became convinced that this church was full of hypocrites and do not good people. I was born in a Christian family in a small Central American country, El Salvador. My father and my mother were devout Christians, very involved in church. One day, my parents sent me to the barbershop, which was an elder from the church. I think I was like 11 then. And as I was waiting for my turn to have my haircut, I began to dig in the magazines. And as I was digging, I found a Playboy magazine in the middle of all the magazines. And so I had never seen anything like that. And I was very curious, so I pulled it out, trying to make sure that nobody was looking at me. I pulled out a Popular Mechanics magazine and put the other one in the middle so nobody would know. And so that was my first ever exposure to that kind of material. And I was excited. I mean, I have never seen anything like that. But at some point, I realized, why are these magazines in this place? The owner of the barbershop was a Christian. He was an elder at church, but he was subscribed to this magazine, and he was there for all his customers. And so I became convinced that this church was full of hypocrites and do not good people. And so I began to reject everything about church, everything about Christianity. And I told my parents I don't want to go to church anymore, but they made me come. A couple of years later, I began to drift away more and more from Christianity. I got with the wrong set of friends, doing all kinds of things, came very close to doing horrible things. And one day, my father asked me to come with him. He had a presentation to make in a church. And because I was so sick and tired of all this church thing, I said, I'm not going, but he made me go. So the whole ride, I was so mad at my father because he made me go with him. And at the end of the talk, when he invited everybody to open their hearts to receive Jesus, all of a sudden, I realized I had never invited Jesus into my heart. And my father asked everyone to raise their hand if they were ready to open their heart to Jesus, and half of the people there raised their hand. But I didn't want to embarrass my father. I was the son of the guy speaking. And so I decided I would not raise my hand. So when we came back home, I went straight to my room, I closed the door, and I knelt down in my bed, and I said, Jesus, I don't remember ever inviting you into my heart. Maybe that's why I'm having all kinds of problems. Please come into my heart. And what I understood is that my connection, the connection that would give me purpose in life, was not a connection with any particular person, a human person, but with God through Jesus. So that's the piece that was missing in my whole theological conception, if you can call that, when I was 11. It was mostly a religious thing, what I had rejected. And so I would say to anybody who is maybe put off by the things that he or she sees in a church, we will always have that kind of thing. There's hypocrisy everywhere. That's part of man. In any human group, there's hypocrisy, there's deceit, there's all kinds of problems. But I think as we discover the real Jesus, he is the one that is the truth, he is the light, he is the person that brings a purpose and meaning to life. And all of a sudden, when I started to walk with Jesus, even at my early age, I began to discover beauty in people. My relationship with my parents was totally rekindled. And without even noticing, in the next several months, Jesus changed my whole outlook. The problem was not with the people outside, the problem was with me. And so once Jesus took care of that problem, I was able to see people with different eyes. And when I discovered the real Jesus, I could not say no to him.